Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome along, hope you're all doing very well today. Welcome back to The Young Farmer. I am Andy, and I would like to start by saying it's great to be back. It's been fantastic to see all your reactions to the first episode. Now today we're heading back to the yard there. We've been up drilling some of our own land, which is not too far away from where we left you just the other night. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to drop this back off the yard. The class action is already set up with a harrow drill on there with an air seeder, and we're going to go and put some cover crop into another field that we own, which is right next door to where we've just been. And we're going to have a little look. There's a few things we want to I want to run through with you there and just kind of introduce you to our new land and see how that all is coming together. We go. But yeah, so it's quite exciting now. We've got our first crops of our own in the ground. Drilled a little bit of winter wheat today, which I think it went in pretty well. We'll go and have a look-see when we get back up just to see what it's doing. But it's a big start. It's a big new chapter really, which is going to be very exciting indeed. Now there's been a few changes in the yard since we were last with you. We've started to try and make a little more space really, because space is of a premium. And as you can see, we're getting some contractors in. They've already been in this morning and dropped off their skip, I see. And what we're going to do, just to keep this out of the way, we'll just back this straight into the shed, that's fancy. Just otherwise, there's not a lot of room here, and we're just going to be in their way for the entirety. So they're going to be doing two things today. They're going to be knocking down an old shed that we don't use. And they're also going to be clearing out an old tank that has absolutely no use to us. Okay, out we get. So, as I mentioned here, and just squeeze through. This old little shed here is going to be dismantled and taken away. It's just, well, it's of no use to us at all. And it kind of takes a big space here. This could be an entrance into what we've already done here, which, as you can see, we brought a loader. We got a local with a telehandler to come in and just kind of level this all out. So we now have a storage area, really. We now got an area to store our trailers in. A set of discs as well that we got pulled over here recently. And the plow as well. So if you recall that we had this plow when we just ended on the last season, actually. But we've got it all set up. So immediately you can tell that we've already got a little bit more space to work in, which is great. Very, very happy with that. And yeah, hopefully by the end of the day, the contractor's going to come back and have this old little shed knocked down. It's not much. I don't think it's going to take much of a beating to get rid of it, but yeah, still, be nice to get that out of the way. So what we'll do is just jump back into our class. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to go and get some cover crop in the ground today. Back we go. And also, this tank in the corner here is disappearing, just so we get a little bit more space there to work with as well. I don't know how long that's been here. I have absolutely no use at all for that. So we opted to get rid of it. We're going to take ourselves around the corner and head up back up to our new land there. And we'll have a bit of a look into it to see what's going on with it all. See if we can make head and tail of how we're going to use it. Oh, there he goes. Get over the road. There is our contractor back as well. Fantastic. Oh, he's got a little skid steer on the back. Oh well, I think he knows what he's going to be doing there. So we'll just let him do his thing. Actually, we've got to go and get on. We can't hang around. So how you been doing anyway? Hope you're all very well. I do believe Simulation for the Nation is going to send this straight out of the almost like back to back really, to sort of get all up to date and kind of give you a few episodes of what's going on. So that'll be very interesting to see. Do like this class action. It is a nice machine to be in. A little bit different in terms of comfort from the fast track. A lot of it, tractors just don't quite keep up with the fast track's comfort, but hey ho. Now we do have a 6 meter, an 8 meter air, like grass harrow, which also has an air seeder on the back there. We use that for cover crop just because we need to just like kind of brush it in really. And it does a perfect job for as far as that's concerned. And we get across the ground nice and quickly. The fast track on the field we're going to, which is that one, well, the field we're in is that one just over on the hillside there. The fast track did not like that hill. It was a struggle. You could really feel its guts being pulled out there. But hey, it's a mighty fast track. It got through it all in the end. There we go. Oh, that's a bit bumpy there, heavens. This is the field on the right that we drilled the other night with you. Got that done in a relatively quick time. It's nice to see. Handled everything very well. And up we go. So we've entered into a little bit different agreement for this land. We haven't purchased the land. We couldn't afford to do that. And we haven't leased it outright either. We are entering into what we call a crop share. So it's a crop share tenancy, whereby we split the costs of the inputs for anything that we grow there, and we split the costs of the returns as well. So, for example, in year one of this, I am renting this land off a farmer called Phil, and Phil is a pig farmer in the area who's winding down his the animal side of his business, and he's just leasing out a lot of his land at the moment because he's getting a little bit older there. That is Phil's tractor in front of us. That's the one I used to fill up the fast track in the drill. So let's just stop here for now. So yeah, this field here, that little one there, or the two fields we've leased, you can see the pig farm in the distance there. Now, like I say, Phil is kind of winding down his business there. We have got a good agreement in place as far as I'm concerned, whereby the ratio for the share is 60%, 40% in my favour for year one, and year two it is 65%, 35% in my favour. Now what that means, let's say that the cost, and I wish this was the cost, but let's say that the cost of me to drill 1 acre of winter barley would be £100 a tonne. I would pay, in year one I would pay £60, and Phil would pay the remaining 40, and then years 2 through 5 I will pay £65, and Phil will pay 35. Now what that means though, let's assume, along the same matrix there, let's assume that we sold that said barley at harvest for £100 a tonne. Now, for that £100 a tonne, I would gain £65 of that, and Phil would gain £35, or £60 and £40 respectively in the first year. So the aim is that it works well in a couple of different methods, really, in a couple of reasons. There are a lot of incentives for both sides. The first incentive is that it encourages you to get the best yield, because then you make more money. Now it ties you into a little bit longer term plan as well, and the reason I say that, if we go ahead and we, let's say, invest in a whole load of lime to put onto this field, if I was there, if the lease was then terminated in the year after, I would have to be reimbursed for some of those costs. So it's an incentive from his perspective from Phil's perspective not to cancel, and an incentive from my perspective to continue to work hard and invest. We split the returns, and we also split the inputs. So financially, for a young farmer such as myself starting out, this is great because it means that I don't have the capital anymore to invest in a whole block of land. Land around here as well, let's say, is expensive. It is up there, so it's those kind of costs we just don't have. So that's why we've gone for this route. Now in this particular field here, we planted a variety of winter wheat called Revelation. A couple of reasons behind the Revelation, really. It's a very high disease resistance rate at the moment. It's a new variety out there at the moment, so that's working very well. It works very well on heavier soils, which we do have up at the top of this hill, so that should really benefit our yields. And additionally, it is all being well, if we meet the good quality grain that we desire, it should be going to be it's a milling wheat, really, so it'll go to distilleries and it'll go to mills to be made into flour as well. But with that in mind, we're going to jump back into the class, I think. Okay, so this is not the biggest field here. That one over there is relatively large. That's about 23, 24 acres over there. And this guy here is not the biggest. This is about 8. So not too bad at all. We're coming in at around about 33 all in total. So that's pretty good. Now, it's not going to take us too long to get this here cover crop in. But what we do need to do is just get this unfolded. And down it goes. All in the hydraulics there, which is always very nice. Now you can see where the pipes are for the seed that get blown through into that second row of tines, really, and then the final 4 rows of tines just bury that in soil as well. So it's going to work very well. We're planting the oilseed radish cover crop with the aim of kind of just helping with the compaction and penetrating the kind of any pans in the soil there and breaking up a little bit of the clay in there as well, which should work wonders. Okay, turn that on. Okay, and away we go here. We're just going to try and get this AB line set up nice and quickly there. I'll have to come along and get that last little bit, but that's not a problem. And there's that lovely beep we want to hear. And in we go. So you can see we're flying along. It shouldn't take us too long to do at all. We can get some real good speed going on here. And we'll just get to the end of the row. Oh, it's a bit bumpy in here though. Heavens. We'll get to the end of the row and we'll have a look just to see how it's all coming in. Yeah, the aim is as well, hopefully, if I can continue to impress Phil with the business practices, that we can kind of extend our land a little bit. He's already got a little bit of contract work that we can get involved in as well, so that should be nice and handy. Alright then, how's this looking? Nice and dry actually in there. It's coming through very nicely indeed. Superb! Well, we will continue on then, and we need to go and make sure that we get all of this done as quickly as we can. God, I do like the look of that class though. What I do need to do... Oh, let's get it in, and then we're just going to tidy up along this edge here. And then we'll be good to go. Fantastic stuff. Oh, this is bouncy. Good grief. I wonder if it's just this edge here or if the whole field's going to be like this. But I feel like we'll find out momentarily. That's fair. So how you all doing anyway? What's new in the world? What you getting up to? Do let us know. Like I say, it's been wonderful to hear you all of your very, very kind words and what you've been getting up to. Do continue to let me know. Kind of like where you're working, really. It's been great to hear that you've all been very eager to hear my return. It's always very, very humbling indeed. Yeah, so do let us know about that. So over the coming few days and weeks, we've got a few other big jobs coming in. We're going to be... There's a lot of fertilizer to put down. We're going to get our sprayer sorted out as well, so we can get our own ground covered here, of course, along with anything else. But the grass is really starting to grow. We are in mid-spring now, so it's not going to be too far off until we want to start to get some nitrogen down on the ground there, just to really get everything covered. And by doing that, then, yeah, silage is only around the corner, so we need to make sure we're all up and ready to roll for that. And then, yeah, we can get off to the races. So that's the next plan as far as I'm concerned. Still waiting for a few truckloads of equipment from the south. And also the combine's not here yet, but that will arrive relatively quickly, I'm sure. I'm not too concerned about that yet at all. So we'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, when they arrive, then we are good to go. And I can't wait. I really, really cannot wait. So yeah, kind of really getting ourselves settled here. Now, there's a couple of tram lines that we must have ploughed over here. Heavens, they're bumpy. Good lord. Anyway, we'll just have to keep kind of pushing through. Nice easy job today. Once this is done, this cover crop's going to be in the ground for about probably best part of 2 months. This is going to be winter barley we're going to put in here, and that's spring wheat over the road there. I may have said it was winter wheat, but I didn't mean spring wheat. And yeah, and then we'll be good to go there. So we thought, well, I thought we might as well stick this into the ground, just get a bit of a nitrogen fix there, get some prevent as much soil erosion as possible. Just get the ground to work for me, really, which is something that we've missed a little bit. You know, something you want to try, and you want to get as much free work as you can. And the best way I find to do that personally is through cover cropping, and so that's what we're going to try and do as much as possible on my own land, at least. And we'll see how it goes. I know the more we do this, I know Paul is very interested to see how it goes. Round we go now. Perfect stuff. So we're going to keep truckling along. We haven't got too long to go into here actually, but then we're going to try and make our way back to see what the what's the latest at the yard there. So we'll come back to you when we're all done here, and let's go and see if we've got a little bit more space to play with. Alright then, just like that, we're done. It's another one in the books, so we're going to get back to the yard now anyway, and just see what's going on there. I'm very intrigued. I want to see how much space I'm going to have more than anything else. We'll slowly trundle our way down the hill. Look at the view we get over the valley though, it's just stunning. Very, very, very good looking area this. The aesthetics are beautiful. Slow down in here. It's a bit of a twisty little road. Have to be very careful when we come to cotton grain. That could be potentially a disaster. Lovely houses though as well. Well, I'm sure they don't care for me rumbling by too much, but never mind. Excellent, off we go. Still got all of these villages to do on the roadside here as well. At the moment, the weather's just too good to get in. We have to get everything else done, so this will be a job for us later on when it's not quite so nice out. Once we get this ground in, and then we'll see how it's looking, see what the contract book's looking like. But yeah, we might come back in and get this done over the next few days. My main aim was obviously to get my own crops established first. It looks a lot better once the roadsides are trimmed down, that's for sure. And off we go. So I had a phone call from the contractor earlier to say that they're done for the day. There's still a little bit of rubble left, but I don't know quite what that means, so we'll have a look see. But yeah, they said they've disappeared. There we go. Skid steer still parked in the middle of the yard. That's one thing. Oh, bam! Well, would you look at that? That is all there's left of our shed, I guess. So it looks like they're taking a fair whack away. Wow, that's really come down pretty quickly. So you could there you have it. You can see how much space we're gonna have. Really nice area, big area to kind of clear up. So that's gonna be excellent. We can either park equipment up that side there. I'm half inclined to see if I can find like a lean-to at some point to put along here, just to give us an extra storage space. Because yeah, you know, when you think about what else we have to bring in here, combine for example, this shed is getting pretty full already, so there's not a lot of wiggle room in there at all. So we have to kind of think about that and see if we can readdress that balance somewhere, somehow. But yeah, I'm very, very impressed with that. That's now gone. It's going to give us a lot more room, get a lot more equipment parked into there as well. And we'll see how that all goes, which is great. So for now though, we're going to leave it here. I'm going to get a few things done. I might even go and get some road verges trimmed up this evening as well. So thank you ever so much for listening. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, as always, don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button to Simulation for the Nation, who as always very kindly agrees to host everything. I have been Andy, your humble host as always, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, have yourself a wonderful day and we'll see you later.